What's up, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of Topic
Thunder.
Here from the Top 10 Show. I am John Roca.
And I am Matt Nost, and it's another week of doing the Topic Thunder, where our patrons over at patreon.com/the top 10, you can see it across the top of your screen right now if you are watching us on beautiful YouTube over at youtube.com/the top 10 podcast with the number 10. But our patrons at the $5 and above level, they send in whatever in the hell they want us to talk about, and we fucking talk about it. And we don't know what it is beforehand. We are in the dark in this as much as you are, and we are excited for it each and every week. And I think it's my turn to start.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so this one is from Pele Cole.
Okay.
It says, "Hey, John and Matt, this is Pele from the UK. Hope you guys are doing well. With all the craziness of the last year or so, my biggest disappointment is still not being able to come and see you guys in London again. Hopefully, that is a possibility next year. Anyway, my question is, given that you are both fans of comedy and have both taken part in it to different extent, of course.
Please do not put me in the same sentence.
Who would you put on your Mount Rushmore of stand-up comedians? Personally, mine would be Pryor, Carlin, Eddie Murphy, and Billy Connolly." That is from Pele, which, if memory serves, I met him at the store, and he is the one that sparked the idea of us going to London to do the show.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay,
yeah, I was on stage, and he was like, "Hey, top 10." And I was like, "Oh," and I started talking to him, and he was from London. I was like, "Maybe we should do a show there." And he's like, "You fucking should." And it was him and three of his buddies, and they were drunk. They weren't obnoxious or anything, but they were having themselves a good old time.
Absolutely, mate. Come on over to London, mate.
Oh, he wasn't some cockneyed. "Hi, governor." All right.
He's fucking great, mate.
Hey.
No, yeah. All right. Well, wait. Now you lost me. What's the? Rushmore.
So who's on your Mount Rushmore?
First of all, shout out to Bailey for putting Billy Connolly on his Rushmore. I don't know how many people would actually have Billy Connolly.
Well, he's from the UK,
but he's fantastic. Yeah. No, of course. Yeah. I'm just saying, shout out to him for doing so.
Sure.
I guess this is interesting. I mean, you obviously have to put Pryor. I definitely put Eddie up there. I guess you'd have to put Carlin. And look, I know, never mind. I can't. I mean, you can't put him up there. But before all the shit, I would have put Cosby as a possible.
Sure.
Mount Rushmore comic. Yeah.
Sure. He's got he's Cosby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
I think let's talk about. I don't know who my fourth would be, to be honest with you. Is it Chris Rock?
You just
Chappelle?
said 4.
I think I lean to Chappelle. Did I say 4?
Yeah, you said Pryor, Carlin, Murphy,
and I said
Cosby.
If I could have put Cosby on there, I can't put Cosby on there. So I think I'd have to go Chappelle. I think Chappelle is so consistently great as a stand-up comedian. So he's doing way more than Rock is right now. So and it works for me. So yep, I guess those are my 4 for now. But as we talk about it, that might change, man.
I think the question is bullshit. How about that, Pele? I think it's utter and complete horseshit. It's a bullshit question.
Wow. Okay.
Well, because look, if you want to do like, what's the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks?
Okay.
They all do the same job.
Right.
So you can assess them on touchdowns, interceptions, yards, accuracy, attempts to completions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And it's an easy metric. Comedy is, dude, this individual makes me laugh and this one doesn't.
Okay.
And they're doing the same. So I think it's utterly impossible.
Really?
To actually genuinely do this. To say like these are the 4 best of comedy of all time. It's like saying the 4 best dramatic actors, man. It's so subjective as to what you're looking for in a performance.
Well, that's why he's asking you the question, because it's a subjective question.
Yeah. And I say the question is bullshit. What kind of mood am I in? There's too many comedians. That's what I'm saying. It's bullshit, baby. I'm not doing it.
He's asking you right now, you're too precious about comedy. How can you say it's okay to rank NFL quarterbacks, which is considerably a way harder job than stand-up comedy? I don't know how comedy is more precious than the NFL. There are aesthetics, there are markers, there are statistics you can look at to a degree with stand-up comedy, can't you?
Ticket sales.
Yes.
How do you do this? Who has the best tour?
Well,
that's where I think it's different, because every year to 2 years we start hearing about this guy is the next so-and-so within sports.
Right.
Like true. Patrick Mahomes is already in the discussion of he's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. And before that, it was Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. And so while you're right, it's rare to get to that echelon. That discussion happens all the fucking time.
Right.
Because you can just, it's easier to judge and measure, to say who are the best comedians. Like Billy Connolly isn't even in my top 10 of UK comics.
Yeah. That's why I said a shout out to him for putting him on there. Because I like Billy, but he probably rarely gets the shout out, you know?
I like him, but there are other comics that I would happily take over him. And it just comes down to what flavor of comedy am I in that day? Do I want like wholesome goodness? I'm going to watch Brian Regan or Jim Gaffigan. It's just like, that is amazing that you make me laugh that hard when the premise is just so clean. Yeah,
but we rank movies all the time. You argue those are like subjective as well. I just don't understand that you can't pinpoint 4.
Yes.
You feel like it's a sacrilege to point 4 out that you.
No, it's not a sacrilege, but
your 4 greatest.
You're saying, okay, we do that on the show all the time, but you know what genre we cover probably the least are comedies.
Yeah, that's true. You're harder on the comedies.
Well, no, I think it's just, I look at it differently, I guess.
Yeah, you do. Well, because it's
different to me, but
it's your life. It's like literally your life. So there's a different look to it. I get that. I bet there's an NFL quarterback who'd be like, I don't want to rank the best quarterbacks. I don't like it. I bet there's somebody who's deep into that shit.
Well, it's also what you want to do in sports of ranking across time. Like, to understand what Lenny Bruce did really helps you appreciate. But if you go back, I've owned 3 or 4 of his records.
Yeah.
Like a couple best of compilations, and then one was a set from somewhere, and there are bits within it that I think still translate, but there are others where that is so of the time.
Yeah.
That like this was a groundbreaking bit because the genre, the art form didn't exist.
Yeah.
And he's kind of helping push the boundaries and create it as it's going on. How do you look at it in the context of history? It's really tough to do.
Yeah, the style. I think expect that. I'm just kind of, pushing you a little bit on it, but yeah,
I know what you mean. Look, if you want to say my personal favorites, like Dave Chappelle is the best comic I've seen in my life.
Wow.
He's the one for me.
Yes.
For me. I've seen him live. To name drop, I have been bumped by him 5 or 6 times at the store. That's not a joke.
Gladly so every time, or maybe
the first couple times. Yes.
Then you're like, bitch, I'm trying to live here.
Well, just, you're going to go on and do for as long as you want.
Right.
And there's only a few of us left on the show. And the crowd is going to stay for you.
Yeah.
So
what happens when you get bumped? Do you not get paid if you get bumped?
Yeah. If you don't do a set, you don't get paid.
Fucking hell. So you can show up ready to go.
Yep.
And Seinfeld shows up and it's all cool for the audience, but you lose your money out on that night. I think
it's not a lot of money.
Still, I think the stand-up who shows up and bumps you should pay everybody down the line
potentially
what they were going to make that line. That's how you do it. That's
some guys just close the show. Just like I will go up last because then they get their spots.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. But depending on how late it's also, the store at that time would just run until legally had to close or there was no audience left.
Right.
So it can get late. And I understand what he's saying, but I sat and watched 2 or 3 of those. And then another time, like maybe I watched a little bit. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go home because I know he's going to do an hour.
Yeah.
And I've already seen him do the hour this late. And sometimes it's really great. And other times he's kind of just talking and working through and finding whatever he wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Sure.
But I'm also like, fuck, man, I was about to go up for the 5th time. It's no joke. That is not an exaggeration. That has happened to me 5 or 6 times from him alone.
Yeah. That's fucked up, man. They should pay you. That's fucked up.
They don't care. They're happy to have Chappelle and they know that I'm not going to say anything.
No, but I mean Chappelle or Seinfeld or when Robin Williams did great Robin Williams, they should pay the comics that are coming up after them because they don't need the fucking money. Yeah. And they're taking time from these guys who are ham and eggers or kind of carving their names out up.
Struggling is fine. You're not offending anybody.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Struggling or whatever it is. Yeah. Struggling to get there. So to
I
be
don't
like,
have the name recognition, so this is why you go on the end of these shows. It's
Yeah,
like, I don't have any
bullshit.
TV credits. I'm good enough to hang with all you fuckos, but
yeah,
I don't have the TV credits. That's fine. There is a pecking order. Welcome to Hollywood. Like if
yeah, exactly.
that's going to piss you off, then you need to move.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about
In
who
the
are
wrong
you,
place.
and you got to
Yeah.
be like, trust me, I am something.
Good. Good.
And it's not like he did it in successive weeks. It
Right.
happened
Still.
every few months and be like, fucking Chappelle did it again. But it used to be worse. Eddie Griffin used to show up and just do 3 hours.
Jesus Christ.
But he would show up and go, I'm going on 4th. And meanwhile, there's 10 people behind him.
Ugh.
And all those 10 people are not getting up. Chappelle's doing it to me and 2 others, maybe 3.
Some bullshit, man.
It is, but at the same time, just like it's Chappelle.
Yeah, I know.
And he's a nice guy and he's not arrogant about it.
Oh,
And
of course
sometimes
not.
he'll sit and watch like the 2 or 3 people before he's going to go up
Yeah.
to show a little love. So he's not just in the back and then waltzes right on stage. Like, he's a nice guy about it.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, Chappelle's, I can't think of a single comedian that's made me laugh as hard as he has over the years.
Yeah,
Just
that's fair.
so.
All right, so you
I
get
mean,
one Rushmore. You get one Rushmore here, Pele. That's all you get, and that's Dave Chappelle. That's all you get. One
Well, look, if we're saying like my personal tops of all time,
that's what he's asking.
in essence, well, I think he's trying to definitively say
No,
who the 4 best
he's
of all.
saying what would be your Mount Rushmore, and he said personally mine are. So clearly, he's
My
saying-
look, perception is reality, and that's what I perceived he was saying. So that is the reality that I exist in. Tough,
all right, my
tough
man.
titties to those that don't like it.
Fair enough.
Uh,
All right, should we move on then?
no, let's see, Carlin.
Yeah.
And then honestly, after that, it does come down to the day, like Regan and Gaffigan. I love Eddie Izzard, Bill Burr, CK, even though I know he's persona non grata.
Dude, I know. CK
But-
is, man, CK is excellent, dude.
I've been bumped twice by him too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I watched both of those. It only happened twice. And
Okay.
trust me, I haven't been, that's over the course of like 7 years,
right.
8 years. Once again, it's an infrequent thing. Yeah, I had to follow John Mayer and Jeff Ross once. They went up as a duo.
What? John Mayer,
Yeah.
the singer?
The singer song. He
Wow.
he dabbled in comedy for like 6 months,
Yeah.
but Ross
Okay.
they walked in and they went up. And then I went up and did my 15 after him. And I basically just talked about how much of a letdown it had to be for the audience to go from Roastmaster General and John Mayer, who just got finished banging Jennifer Aniston, to this guy who looks like your accountant. And I just did 15 minutes of that. I got a standing ovation from the 7 people in there. About I think 4 or 5 stood up. I was like, that was amazing. And I just shit on myself and how there's no way I could ever meet the expectations of what they just saw. Like both are millionaires. One is a multimillionaire, wildly successful,
Wow.
handsome, talented. Now you're stuck with me. It's the sad truth. You just talk about reality and they're like, you aren't as good looking. You're definitely not as successful. And be like, trust me, this is all truth. We all know it. You can't run from it. Why am I going to lie to myself?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then it kept working. So then it just keeps, I don't mind piling on myself. I've been doing it internally for years. So let's have a little fucking psychology session, guys.
The basis of comedy.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Nobody wants you to go up there and be, hey, everything is great. I'm good looking. I'm making a lot of money. I'm awesome. I'm here to tell you some jokes.
I know a comic. So he's been on an MTV show and something else. He is handsome. He is handsome as shit. But that's what he did in his first 3 bits. The first one landed because it was a joke at the second one landed because it was somewhat a joke at his expense, but he ultimately flipped it back on the audience.
Yeah.
His first 3 jokes were how much better looking he was than everybody in the room. And I was like, you're losing him because we acknowledged that as soon as you walked on stage.
Yeah.
You're that handsome. You don't need to rub our faces in it.
Right. You got to make yourself relatable, not
Exactly
above the audience. Yeah. That makes no
It's like you have too much charm, likability to be a prick. You do. And you're handsome on top. You have no need. There is no need. You're punching down.
Yeah.
And he stopped doing it. And he was like, you're right. I should have stopped doing that sooner. I was like, I don't know why you thought it was a good idea. Nice guy though. Really. I mean, he's staggeringly handsome. And you're like, yeah, I get it. I totally get why producers offer you jobs. To just, hey, we just need you to show up on camera and be pretty. No problem. It's good for you. Make that money.
Make that money. All right. Thanks, Pele Cole. Appreciate the question. Let's move on to the next one here. Jordan Davis says, "Hey, man, John, I'm not sure if you read the messages from this tier, but I just wanted to reach out and tell you how much I dig the show. I knew you both from Collider, and my podcast feed recommended Top 10 a year ago. I don't want to appear mawkish, but I can't tell you how much listening to you both talk about movies has helped me get through the past year. Due to that truth, I felt obliged to give back." Oh, so he's just telling us he became a patron. Oh, sorry. Sorry. All right. Yeah, Yankees. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. All right. Appreciate that, Jordan. Thank you. That's not a comment, right? So
no, yeah, it's not. Okay. It's not a topic. But in that vein, we got a nice message that we both read from Paul Cree, our friend over.
Oh yes,
he works at the BBC.
Yeah,
and we got to meet him when we went to the London show, and he was like, "Hey, you want to come on set and see the BBC?" And we both said, "Yeah. Why would you say no to that? Something interesting to see." Yeah. But it's the same thing. He loves the show. He's been listening for years and was inspired, and went out and started a podcast with his friends.
Yeah.
And basically said it was all thanks to the inspiration of just hanging out with us and having fun and talking about movies. And he wanted to do the same with his excuse to hang out with his friends.
Yeah.
And he started a podcast called 5 on Film with the number 5. So go check it out. 5 on Film, Paul Cree, longtime supporter of the show. I'm sure it's excellent. He's a good dude.
Yeah. Have me on the show, Paul. I'm down. Let's see, 5. We can make it 6. 5 + 1 on film. Have me on the show as a guest. I would love to come on. But congratulations.
There you go. 5 on 1. I do like that. Bring it on. That is fun. I'm envious that I didn't get to that as quickly as you did.
Yeah, but go and patronize that. All right, let's move on to our next one. Tim Williams. This was Tim Williams. I think Tim is the one down in Australia. He says, "Hi, guys. How you doing? Good. I'm writing this on April 27th. I mentioned this to John on stereo. Over the weekend, I went to my first Aussie Rules footy match for over a year. It was traditional Anzac, which is the Australian-New Zealand Army Corps day game. I believe for you guys, it's called Veterans Day. I mean, it could be wrong. No, it is Veterans Day. This game every year brings about 90,000 to 100,000 fans of the same two teams who are playing, my Essendon Bombers and the Collingwood Magpies. This year, the stadium could only be at 85% capacity, but in saying that, we broke the record for a crowd after COVID of 78,000 fans. It's great to see faces as masks aren't required and haven't been for a while. Not a brag, but I do feel for you guys because I want America open so I can maybe come to a show one day. Anyways, back on topic. This brings me to my question. They play, quote, the last post before the game every year. The entire crowd is in silence during the song and for a minute following to pay our respect for our men and women who fought for us. It always makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up to basically 100,000 fans, a hearty percentage of whom are drunk. Aussies of two teams who absolutely hate each other, to be able to stand together in silence is spine tingling. So maybe besides a movie scene, what, when, or where was a time that sticks out to you that made the hairs on the back of your neck stand up? Also, I've linked the video to what I described that happens on Anzac. Worth a look to get a visual. Thanks again, Legends, Timothy R. Williams. Okay, Matt, do you remember a movie scene and what it was about it that made your hair stand up on the back of your neck?
What didn't he just say? Yeah, he said, so besides a movie scene.
Oh, well, maybe besides a movie scene. Oh, I see. What, when, where was it? Okay, go ahead. Yeah. So not a movie scene.
I can tell you this much. I wish I was in the Garden last night.
Oh,
Madison Square Garden. So there was game 2 of the Atlanta Knicks series.
Yeah.
And it looked electric in game 1. It was even more so last night. That one would have worked. Like to see something pretty amazing. What is... So outside of movies, any huge concerts you missed out, like you would love to have been there?
Well, it says what, I think he's asking, what have you experienced? So maybe besides the movies, what, when, or where was a time that sticks out to you that made the hairs on the back of your neck stand up? So
I realized that.
Did the hairs make the back of your neck stand up like when you were watching last night?
No, but I'm trying to think of like, as I get to a situation where that did happen to me, what are some other situations?
Oh, yeah, man. Okay, yeah.
For me, like, oh, what about this?
Certainly going to see Liverpool with Lindley a couple of years ago in Anfield. That whole thing of having them sing, we caught the tail end of the song of "You Never Walk Alone." Just being in the stadium, hearing that, absolutely, hair stood up on the back of my neck. That was a hell of an experience for sure. I remember in high school, when we were I was a big fan of our basketball team, and I would go with some friends and go see the games and stuff. And we were with that year, I think it was junior or senior year, we were really good, and we'd made it out for the first time ever that I can recall out of like the regular rotation of just playing the teams that we played, and we got into the playoffs. And so I remember we drove all the way because they had a thing where you could buy the ticket and the bus would drive you from Garfield to Heritage, was the high school we were playing. And the kid hit a 3-quarter shot to beat us. And I just remember standing there with like, I'd never seen something like that in an actual game in real life. And I just stood there shocked. And I remember the hair stood up on the back of my neck because I'd never experienced that. That sucked that we lost, but still it was incredible to be there for that moment where someone hit a 3-quarter shot to beat us by
I'm sure
1 point, so it was insane.
Let's see. So technically not Griffin's rookie year, but he got injured his rookie year. So that second year was really his rookie year with the Clippers.
Yeah.
And he got a 3/4 of the court length lob and dunked it. And the whole crowd went. It was before people knew who Blake was.
Right.
Like fully, the average person, like any basketball fan, knew the name, had seen some of the highlights, and knew that he'd been out injured.
Right.
But it was like early in the season. You're like, holy sh! When Steph Curry is on the baseline and he drops Chris Paul, and the memes are like Chris Paul was doing Twister, but he drops as a little step back and then drops a little floater, but the whole arena went. But it'll be on Steph's highlight reel for the rest of his career. I was in the stadium for that, and that was just utterly pure electric. To see somebody, I saw a no hitter, but it was the opposing team. It was the Cubs against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. So people were into it, but they didn't want to be into it.
Yeah.
Whereas as a Cubs fan or a former Cubs fan at that point, because I kind of stopped watching baseball for a couple of years, it was still more exciting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. I mean, there's a whole bunch of concerts, but I don't know if it was because I was drunk, high, or tripping, or it was just loving the music that much. Combination of all of them. Good times with my friends. Like this is, the others I was sober for. So
I think meeting The Rock for the first time to interview him certainly.
Okay.
That made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up because, I mean, this was a guy who I had idolized for years, and I never thought I'd find my way to a position where I'd be actually talking to this man and having him respond. And then when he cut a promo with me, for fuck's sake, that drove me insane to be able to do that with The Rock. So, yeah, I mean, that was something that certainly made the hair stand on the back of my neck. Yeah.
It's meeting Jimmy Hart of all people.
For you?
Yep. Because it's such an obscure, out of nowhere, here's Jimmy Hart. You're like,
hey,
what?
man.
Yeah. But he was like, it was much more reserved. He knew dude that I was hanging out with. And we were at the store and it was late and he was just walking past and he saw my friend. He was like, hey, buddy, what's going on? And then my friend walks over to him and I walked over and I was like, I apologize, but I'd just like to shake your hand. And my friend introduced the two of us.
Yeah. Wow.
But I was like, I don't want to take any more time. And then I immediately text my brother. It's like, you're never going to guess who I just fucking met of all people. And it's just because you don't ever anticipate meeting Jimmy Hart.
Of course not.
Why would you? He's walking past on Sunset. What? Is he just in LA for an event? He doesn't live here. It was fucking weird. That one, I don't know if the hair's on the back of my, but I was excited. I was like, Jimmy Hart. I'd like to shake your hand.
Yeah. Okay, man. But he's down in Hogan has that beach shop, I think it's Orlando or one of those cities in Florida. And Jimmy Hart shows up and does like
that makes sense to me that he lives in Florida.
Right. Autographs and whatever. Apparently a lot of wrestlers live in Florida. So which I didn't know about, by the way. But yeah,
I knew Hulkster did. And I knew didn't Brutus the Barber Beefcake, he lived down there.
Probably, yeah. I mean, certainly Randy was down there.
I would imagine Jake the Snake lived down there for a while.
Probably, right. So but yeah, he shows up and he does autographs and does pictures and stuff. So if once things start to open up, if we ever or if I ever take a trip down to Hollywood, or I mean Florida, I'm gonna find my way to that beach shop. I gotta find, and hopefully it's time Hogan. Hogan is. I've never met Hogan. I fucking would lose my mind to meet. I know. I get it. People, I know the things he said. I know. I get it. People might be upset for me saying that, but that's my childhood, man. I gotta meet this motherfucker once before I leave the earth. I got to meet him, man. So,
okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah, he did. He doesn't have that pull from anybody. Over the years, the Hulkster's patina has lost any and all shine. There was a time, man, I would have agreed with you. But the fact that I know nothing about Jimmy Hart, and it's like, oh my God, you were such a part of my life for like 3 years. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Any of that era of wrestling, I would be fascinated to meet.
Are you watching the new biographies on A&E on these guys?
No.
I definitely would recommend the Roddy Piper one. That was excellent. That they just did. These are all new documentaries.
He's had a weird life.
Yeah, it was really good. The Booker T one is excellent. I didn't know what to expect. It's fucking excellent. And I just saw the Warrior one, the Ultimate Warrior one. I thought that was good as well. So if you have some inclination to go back and revisit that time, they're doing a bunch of them back to back. The Savage one was only good for the first 45 minutes, and then they just started piling on him, and I'm like, what the fuck is this all about? So it wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. Oh, and the Stone Cold one is good, but they left out a lot of stuff. So just throwing it out. But if you want to experience that, for sure.
Savage would be one. Maybe the way you go bananas for Hogan, I think I could still do that for Savage if he were around.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Savage would be great.
Savage would be. I want him to do that, but I don't.
Well, apparently he kept that voice even offset until he was the last few years of his life, when he finally settled down with that woman that he had known in the past and was married. Like, he finally put away that voice. But apparently, because Lenny Poffo says the biography that he kept that voice going. Once he discovered that voice, he kept that voice on and offset. And it's like, wow.
Exactly. He became the character.
Yeah, exactly. See, I'd love him to do a promo for the top 10. That'd be fucking fantastic.
Oh, just in general. I used to have, there's a comic that does the best Sam Kinison you've ever heard.
Whoa.
If you closed your eyes, it sounds exactly. And I'm talking exactly. His name's Craig Gass.
Okay. Wait, is the guy from Tenacious D? The guy from Tenacious D? Is that
no?
Oh, that's Kyle Gass. My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
And I had him do my outgoing message on my phone.
As Kinison?
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it was like 15 seconds. And I was like, this
Great
is
choice.
Can you believe I was like a door guy years and years and years ago. And I feel guilty because my friend drunkenly came up with the idea, and the next time I saw Gas, I had him do it. And I was like, I apologize, but I don't even fucking care. I was like, I know I'm an asshole, but I didn't think you would remember. And I saw him next, and yes, I'm a dick. I am a dick. I felt bad about that, but I loved having it. I kept it on as my outgoing for like 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
Well, until whenever I had to change my phone in, of the contract was up and I could get a free one again.
Damn. I love Sam. I loved Sam. I loved him. Loved him.
Character of Sam.
Oh my God. His stand-ups, shit. I know Hicks came around the same time, but for me, Sam was the one, man. I just to pieces.
But it's a different, Hicks is going to be slightly more intellectual.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah, we just lost a guy you've never heard of named Carl LeBove, who was part of that same crew, and he was fantastic in his own right. If you've never seen his clips, go look him up.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, super sweet, led a crazy lifestyle. Sam may or may not be the father of his child that he's been paying child support for. For I believe it's her entire life. He treats her like his daughter, but I know, so he had to go like off the radar for years because the mom had gotten his wages garnished, and he is almost certain the girl looks like Sam.
Right. Why did you do a paternity test?
Well, the mother didn't want to admit.
Oh, okay.
And also would lose the alimony. That's the story that I heard from his perspective, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I saw a picture of it. It's a girl, and she does look kind of like Kennison.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Don't know if there's any truth to it. I don't have the slightest clue. It's not my family. It's not my problem.
Yeah, not my chair, not my problem. All
But
right.
anyway, Carl's great. Just passed away too. It sucks.
Oh, I'm sorry, bud. That's a shame.
I hadn't seen him in years. I thankfully got to perform with him quite a number of times, and he was a joy to work with and always hilarious. I watched, of the 4 shows that I'd be working with him, I watched minimum 2, which is
okay.
Saying something, because at that point I had seen so many thousands of hours of comedy that you just judge. Like, okay, here comes the punchline. Here's this. I know this premise. Where are you going with this? And his like, I don't give a fuck, man. It's good.
Yeah. Apparently, Mark Maron interviewed him.
LeBeau, I'm not surprised.
And
Maron was a door guy.
Yeah.
When LeBeau and Kennison was blowing up, but LeBeau was part of his clique, and they're the ones that got Maron addicted to coke.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he used to party with them, and they partied too hard for him, so he had to get the fuck out. He left Hollywood. I believe that's how the story goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
LeBeau was a wild child, but he was sweetest dude.
Respect. That's the world of comedy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on out of here. We're past the 30-minute mark. Thank you all so much for the questions. The 2 questions that we got to answer here on the show. Thanks, Timothy. Hope we answered your question. Thanks, Pele, as well. Much love to both of you. Much love to everybody who's been sending in your questions and your comments. Keep doing so. We never want to run out. We like to answer. Sometimes it's 2 questions. Sometimes 1 question. Sometimes it's 4. You just never know how these questions are going to lead us and what paths we're going to walk down as we answer them. So, but we appreciate the medley. Thank you to everybody who's a patron of the Top 10, Matt. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thanks to everybody and those that sent in today and keep sending in. The email address is over at patreon.com/the top 10. So send away. We always love having them. And follow the show at Top 10 Show. We're over on Instagram and YouTube. It is /the top 10 podcast with the number 10. And you can follow me anywhere at Matt Nost.
Yeah, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. All right, take care, everybody. We'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of Topic
Thunder.